Hello, everybody. So I'm Nay,
And I'm Lola.
and we're going to show you today 10 fall tips for 2019 fashion trends that are up and coming that you should be looking for when you're thrifting. Even whether it's for yourself or you're going to resell, these are things that will, bring you some good sales. So our first.
I just wanted to say that it may just be the beginning of fall, but I've definitely already seen a lot of an uptick in my sales of like more fall items. So if you haven't already started listing your fall items and started sourcing, now is the time.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. And people are construction going on outside.
So we have Heidi from Calgary, Canada. Hi, Heidi. Thank you for watching. I wanted to talk about like my scenery here. So I think it was last episode or a couple of episodes ago, we talked about how we got into thrifting, and I talked about those flea markets that I used to go to with my parents back in the 80s. They would bundle me up in the winter and we would go to these flea markets. Well, I'm actually at my parents' house right now because they live like 5 minutes from me. So I found this. It goes with our theme. It's a fall painting, and my parents actually bought this one back in the 80s at one of those flea markets. So
funny. It's really cool, and it's like seasonally appropriate.
So. It's actually pretty. It's all oil on canvas, and but yeah, so scenery appropriate for fall.
So, and on that note, we're going to talk a little bit about what we are wearing. So we love to thrift, not just for resale, but my cat's here.
We're going to be talking about him.
We'll be talking about him in a minute. Hi, Anne Marie.
Wow, we have a little audience here.
Glad you saw us yesterday on Jason's show. Yeah, so we thrift for ourselves and for our houses and also
my kids, our pets, everything.
And I would say like at least 90% of my wardrobe. So
for your wife, or you try to. Yeah.
Do you want to go first?
Sure. So what are we wearing that's thrifted? So I'm at my parents' house, and it's really hot. Like, it's hot up here because they don't have central air. So I found in my drawer in my old bathroom here a genuine 90s scrunchie, which scrunchies are in now. And we're also going to be talking about metallics. So I'm wearing this awesome, crazy 90s metallic scrunchie. And that's part of our theme. So also I thrifted this. Now we're going to talk about how with these trends, brand is not really the key thing. You could have a brand that normally doesn't sell so well, but if it fits one of these fashion trends, then the brand is kind of irrelevant at that point, and you can sell it on the style. So what I have thrifted, this goes with our theme too. This is a Michael Stars metallic top. It's like kind of like a crop top, and Michael Stars is kind of a low end brand that doesn't really do too well for resale, but it fits. It's metallic. And then underneath, I have this awesome tank top that is it's like a Chinese brand. It's all Asian written. I don't know. It's like some probably low end, mass produced brand, but it's just cool. Like I love like pop art kind of things like that. So so that's what I'm wearing today. That's thrifted.
A Depop item.
Yeah, it would be a good Depop item. Maybe I'll wear it for a bit and then sell it on Depop. So I don't know.
Like I like to do. So my thrifted item today is, since I was on Jason's show last night talking about big city thrifting, this shirt is a Urban Outfitters shirt, and it's actually, so Urban Outfitters, I'm sure probably most people know, is like known for their vintage vibes and style, but obviously it's new merchandise. This is actually a vintage Urban Outfitters shirt, so it's like from the 80s, and I was able to figure out how old it was. Based on the look, but also on the tag, it said Urban Outfitters, Philadelphia and Cambridge.
Wow.
So the time when Urban Outfitters it started here in Philly, and then they opened in Harvard Square in Cambridge. And that was it. They had like 2 stores. So it dates to that time. And the funny thing is as awesome. I love this shirt. I thought about selling it, and I realized it was going to be really hard to get the right keywords, because if I put like Urban Outfitters vintage, it was going to be flooded with like, recent, like not actually vintage, but vintage style
Right.
from Urban Outfitters. So I was like, you know what, this is like a really cool Philly relic.
It is. It's awesome. And it looks great on you. So
I love it. Yeah, I think it's a men's shirt, but
yeah, but it
I was
looks great.
super well broken and it's just like really cozy. And Jennifer says, "Oh, we learned how to do this. Thanks."
There we go.
I found a lot of cool shirts in the '90s. Brand Cherokee. I think Cherokee's one of those brands that like it used to be better quality than it is now.
Well, it got Target took it over. Like Target.
Walmart.
It was in Target. A lot of it's not anymore, but for a while Target was selling the brand. But before that, if you find like the vintage stuff, it could still,
yeah, and definitely for vintage shirts, you look at the tag, and if it's like made in the USA, that's always a good sign, or made in Hong Kong. Let's see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at the fiber content. So a lot of newer shirts will all be like polyester, cheaper materials, but they might be 100% cotton or wool blend. So that's good to look at. John says, perfect timing. I'm moving into selling clothes. I hope you've learned a lot.
Oh, that's great. Awesome. Great. Yeah, you'll learn a lot from us. We are girly girls. Like we talk a lot about, women's fashion, but we will also talk about thrifting, some hard goods, men's clothing, kids. I have 3 boys, so I'm always buying, kids clothes. And I just stumbled upon a kid's brand that's it's called Mini Rodini, and I looked it up and I was like, oh my gosh, it sells so well. I picked up a piece in the bag sale. So like, we're learning so much about different items too, not just women's fashion. So
definitely. Okay, so that's a good note to move on to our next little segment, which is getting to know us. So we're going to do this, at least for the first few shows, a little bit about us every episode, both about ourselves as thrifters and in our personal non-thrifting lives. And so we thought today we would talk about our pets. We both are big animal people, and I have 3 cats. I live in Philly, but I'm originally from Boston, so I'm a huge Red Sox fan, and all of our cats are named after Red Sox players. So Mookie's here, actually.
Oh my gosh, he's a doll. I love Mookie. Yeah, he's my boy.
Nay has known Mookie since he was a little kitten. I found him on the street on the corner from my house, and he was just the sweetest thing. He came up to me and was basically like, "You're my mom now." And
no one claimed him. You tried to get him to find his, but he was yours. He was very clear about it. He owned the house in 2 days. So Mookie's the tuxedo, and then Yaz and Teddy are older. They just turned 6, and they're both they're brothers. Yeah, they're brothers from the same litter. And I always think that they're so pretty. I mean, I guess I'm biased, but they are. They're beautiful.
They're their mom was my cousin's cat, just got out one day, so we have no idea who the dad is, and so they have a very dubious pedigree, but I love them to death.
Yeah, they're adorable, and they always greet me when I come. I'm always at Lola's house, and they always greet me when I come in there. Yeah. And so my pets are, sadly, I had my cat Milo passed away, which was really hard. If you ever watched Thrifty Business, my 3 cats were actually the feature, and they would be on the stairs in the background. Milo sadly passed away this past December. But I still have 2 cats. I have Phoebe, who is 14 years old, and she was a rescue. She came right from the Philadelphia animal shelter, and she was infested with fleas, and she had tapeworm, and when they did her spaying, operation. It was all infected. So we got her, and she was a mess, and but we got her back to health, and she is 14 years old and going strong. And then we have Half Pint is the tuxedo cat there, and he was also a rescue. He's 7 years old. We got him from the Paws shelter in Philadelphia, and he is just so social. They introduced us to him at the shelter. I had 2 kids at the time. I was pregnant with Declan, and because he was so good with kids, and they just fell in love with him, and we took him home right then. So that's our Half Pint. Paddington is our 4-year-old male boxer. He is a doll. He is a huge lap dog. He's about 90 pounds, and he does not know that he's 90 pounds. So, and he takes over my side of the bed at night too. Like, he's always like all over. He just takes up the whole bed, which, and then there's Fluffy. I know people won't think Fluffy is cute and furry, but she is actually really sweet. She's a rose hair tarantula. We think she's about 8 years old. Now, the females can live 20 to 30 years.
Wow.
My son, Colin, she is so gentle with him. He handles her, and she's so sweet. He also has 4 other tarantulas. They're not so friendly, so we do not handle them, but Fluffy is she's our sweet one. So that's my pets.
That's so cool.
Uh-huh.
I did not know until I knew that tarantulas could be like friendly pets.
Oh yeah, they all have personalities. It's amazing. People think I'm nuts, but they all have their individual personalities. They are. We have one that's just very aggressive. The minute that you go to feed him, he just like backs off and puts his "you're threatening me" posture up. So, we don't handle him. They all have, but Fluffy from the start has just been so gentle, so sweet. Colin made Lego stairs for her. So the Lego stairs actually go up to her enclosure. So she'll actually walk up and down the stairs. It's so cute. Yeah, I know people think that tarantulas are icky, but there's a lot of myths about them too. They don't really, their bite is no worse than a bee sting. If they do bite, you have like a 1 in 10,000 chance of getting bit. And if they're not aggressive, like the first thing they'll do is kick their hairs up. Then they'll try to back away before they try to attack. Like, biting is like their absolute last defense. And we've never gotten bitten. So
that's so funny.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. Tangent about tarantulas.
And tarantula knowledge on this show.
Yes, if anybody wants to know anything about tarantulas, I can tell you.
So we thought today on the thrifting side, we talk about our holy grails, the things that we hope to thrift before we die. Do you want to go first?
Sure. So mine is my ultimate thrifting, a holy grail. There's a designer his name is Alexander McQueen. He's passed away, but he has designed some amazing dresses. I mean, like, some of them are just so elaborate. And the vintage ones, the vintage ones and the elaborate ones before his death, that were designed by him before his death, they go in the thousands. So
they are.
I think his label still has designed some things since his death, but but the things that he actually designed pre-death, like, you can see there, like, they go in the thousands, and they are amazing. So if I ever stumble upon look at that rainbow one.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Can you bring that one up? That is gorgeous. Oh my God. Birds of Paradise dress. Yeah.
So pretty.
It went for what is it up for? $999. And yeah. So if I ever find an Alexander McQueen, that is my absolute holy grail. And I don't know if I could actually sell it. I'd probably end up keeping it, even if it wasn't my size. I'd probably I don't know. I don't think I could sell it, but
you have to find an excuse to wear it. Like, go to the opera or something.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And then sell it or something.
Yeah, I probably would eventually sell it, but that's my absolute holy grail.
That's a good one. So mine is not quite so high end. It is something I would definitely keep for myself. And so I would love to find an All Saints leather jacket. And I was actually surprised that the comps weren't as high as I assumed they were. I mean, they're still pretty good.
Yeah, Affluence does pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah. Originally, these would be like $500. And it depends on the style, of course, and condition. They go for a bit more on Poshmark, I think, on eBay. But I mean, if I found one in my size, I would absolutely
be yours. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you look awesome in it too. Yeah.
I wanted one for years. And if I happen to find one that isn't my size, I think probably what I would try and do is like flip it and then the money to buy one.
If anyone finds one,
let me know.
I let Lola know, and she will purchase it from you.
I absolutely would. I'd love to give some money to one of our viewers and get my dream jacket. That would be awesome.
Yeah, so BOLO for that.
Oh, I like backgrounds. You mean like our new art
scenery, I guess. Yeah, last time we had a white wall, and it was like, just
it was boring. We listened to his advice. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
We're still working on it.
We are. We're
both such creative people. I'm surprised we ever thought like white backgrounds were good.
I know we weren't thinking about that end. So yeah, so we will be changing the scenery. I might put a different thrifted painting up every week, or some kind of thrifted art up every week for the background to feature.
Hi, Tina.
Hi, Tina.
I have a pretty big art collection that's from thrift stores too, so we'll have to cycle it through.
Yeah, that would be a cool segment. Like, what thrift store art are you featuring today?
Yeah, and actually, we both have art backgrounds. So you're a graphic designer.
I'm a graphic designer. I have a bachelor of fine art degree. I went to art school, so yes, I am
and I am like absurdly overeducated and have 2 masters in art history. For no reasons. Let's put that to work. Okay, so I guess we should get into our main segment, which
let's go.
Fashion trends. And our first trend that we are going to talk about is oversized coats.
Yes. Okay.
I mentioned that we picked these trends not just because they're in, but because they're things that you conceivably could find in a thrift store.
Yeah. Like there's one trend that's like prairie and Renaissance. That's kind of harder to find, So these are things that you can easily find in a thrift store. So yeah, so I actually have an example here of an oversized coat. Now this brand does not always do well. This is a loft coat, an Ann Taylor loft. But it's like that kind of overcoat, oversized kind of trench, look. So, yeah. So even in a brand, in a lower end brand like that, you can still, do well. So definitely.
Yeah. So trench coats, I mean, they're classic. So I'm sure a lot of people would pick them up, especially if they're like higher end Burberry, that kind of thing. But they're really popular. And so. One good flip I had actually last year that I think maybe would do even better this year was a trench coat that was from a brand called Unif, or it's spelled UNIF. I'm not actually sure how you say it, but it's sold at Urban Outfitters.
Okay.
And it was really popular on Instagram and with bloggers. So when I found the style, it was on, tons and tons of Instagram posts. And so it sold really fast because it was something people were looking for and it was really on trend. And it wasn't like a super, it was lightweight, it was kind of flimsy. Like I wouldn't have guessed really that it was sought after, but I picked it up on a hunch because of the trend. So
yeah, okay, we have the question.
Clothes are popular in the 90s, so well on Etsy as vintage. Yeah, so 90s are back. A lot of our trends will reflect that.
Yep.
Vintage 90s coat, absolutely. I have been not selling vintage as much on Etsy lately, which is more of a personal preference. I feel like it's just getting harder and harder to get seen on Etsy. So that's one of the reasons why we both started selling on Depop, which is really good for vintage. You can sell vintage on eBay. I think Etsy is definitely an option, but there are multiple.
Yeah, I don't actually. For years I've been saying I'm gonna start an Etsy store, and eventually I might actually for some of my yarn I might do. I think that would be a good platform for that, but I have not yet.
Sabrina.
Hi, Sabrina.
But yeah, Etsy is great for craft supplies. I feel like that might be one of the
Yeah. So
I've sold off and on Etsy for years and just never been as successful there as on
yeah,
Poshmark.
that's what I hear, that it's a lot slower. So.
And it takes more effort in my experience. Like you have to have a social media.
Yeah, you have to Instagram and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. So our next trend is color, specific colors, not necessarily together, although if you could pull it off.
Yeah, well, you never know.
Pistachio green and orange are two of the big colors for fall. So pistachio green in particular, I think, is sort of the new millennial pink, which was a big color for a few years. It's that sort of like muted, more minimalist aesthetic. And then on the other side of the spectrum are like bright neon colors. And orange is a really good example of that. That's really in this fall.
Yeah. And also like a sagey green, like any, like there's, different shades of green, but definitely the greens are the it color of fall.
Yeah. And I think that will also, the green especially will last, like that will go into winter, will go into next spring. It's probably going to have a little bit of a staying power.
Yeah, I think orange is a good fall color though too.
Tina says, you've been thinking about selling on Etsy, but also never pulled the trigger. Yeah. If you do, come back and tell us what it's like, and we can compare experiences, maybe learn from your experience too. And if anyone watching is an Etsy seller, like let us know what you think and how you've made it work. So another 90s trend.
Yeah, this is another 90s trend. Yes. Shoes.
Yeah. So again, this is a great item where you can find 90s square-toed shoes and sell them. And then the fact that they're vintage is a selling point. So you don't have to pretend like they're, newer.
Yeah. So like I have in the middle there, that picture, like chunky 90s loafers are very in. So if you have a pair of chunky 90s loafers with a square toe, that's an added bonus.
Yeah, for sure. And the flip side of this trend, I think, is also that other like rounded toes and pointy toes are going out.
Yeah, I'm having trouble selling I have pointy toed shoes in my, that I'm trying to sell, and they're just sitting right now. Yeah. So absolutely.
I think that like a work shoe that's pointy toed would be, but like the really exaggerated pointy toes, like the ones that are more of a fashion statement, that's not as big right now as the square toe.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll cycle back in at some point.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And there's always people who are still looking for those, but
absolutely,
there's more demand right now for the square toe. And another trend, this is sort of a continuation from summer.
Oh, you have an example of that, don't you?
I do have an example. So this is actually, I picked this shirt up over the summer, early like May or June, at my local thrift. And it turns out that one of the girls at the thrift store actually tie-dyes shirts that she finds in the thrift store. Oh. And then she sells some of them. And then some of them, I guess, I know she's had too many, or some of them weren't moving, and she donated them back. And I bought a few of them. And so this one in particular, like, she took a shirt that's not, a big name brand, but it is like a linen blend. It feels really nice. And so you can find tie-dye. You can also DIY tie-dye if you find, nice like white or light colored linen shirts or
and it doesn't matter the brand. And with those too, if they have a flaw, like it doesn't matter as much.
Right. It's a great way to upcycle things that otherwise you might redonate, or things that have been sitting for a long time. Go through your old inventory and see what you can update. Yep. So it's easy to get tie-dye kits like on Amazon or big box store, craft stores. Like I got one at UC Moore. Bleaching is also a really popular technique. So I see this a lot on like Poshmark and Depop, where people will like bleach, like spray bleach shirts, but you could also dye, bleach, and then over dye with tie-dye. So there's so many options, and there's lots of,
Yeah, so if you want to get crafty, you can DIY some items that, maybe they're in your inventory, they have like a little stain on them, or they're not quite, like they're kind of bland and not quite sellable. You can, turn them into a profit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lori has good feedback. She says that Etsy's slower, but the sales price is higher. I definitely have found that when I've been able to make sales on Etsy, I just feel like I work so much harder for them. I don't know if it's worth it. But I mean, I do sell a lot of vintage, and maybe I should give it another shot because I would make more per item.
Yeah.
But I've noticed there's just such a like trend towards higher end photography, and I thought like, okay, do I get a friend to model and use my DSLR? Lori, if you do any of that, I'd be curious to hear, or if you just take photos like you would for eBay.
I like I said, I haven't sold on Etsy, but it's a different type of buyer, I think.
Yeah, and it's a different group of buyers too.
Exactly, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
So the next trend is checkered prints. I think you have an example for this one.
I do. I have actually a couple examples. So checkered prints, it also encompasses plaids, and the trend is kind of mixing, like if you have like mixing like houndstooth with plaid and different types of checkered, mixing them in one outfit. That's another trend that's happening. So this is actually Free People. It's actually, I have it actually up for sale. It's a button top and it's also like kind of lacy. This one would definitely fit in with the fall trend. And the other one I have actually fits into one of our other categories. So I'm going to show that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think this is like the Cher from Clueless kind of look too is really in.
Yeah.
So like the two-piece.
Houndstooth is big. Houndstooth.
Yeah. But then for fall, I mean, every year for fall, if you have like the Free People shirt you showed or vintage flannel, always, I think every year is going to be.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But the cool thing about this trend is, like you're mixing the prints. It's kind of fun.
It's definitely funkier. Yeah. Look, you want to come here? Want to say hi?
Oh, Mookie.
He wants attention, but he's not helping.
He's such a sweetheart.
And so on the print topic, we also have animal prints. And again, I think the like mixed prints, mixing with different textures is really good.
So I have this purse. The brand is Kathy Von Zeeland, which has tanked because of the fact that Walmart started, I call it pimping out but Walmart started selling Kathy Von Zeeland, and after that it kind of just tanked. This is a pre-Walmart bag. It has the $99 MSRP tag on it. It's new with tags. But I'm thinking, like, I've had it sitting in my inventory because of the brand, and the brand just doesn't sell anymore. But I'm wondering now, since the fall, like it's an animal print bag. I wonder if now I should put it up and give it a try, because maybe the print will sell over the brand.
That's a really good tip. Yeah. That sometimes that when things are slow moving in the past. Mm-hmm. They come back in style, then the keywords are going to be
exactly helpful. Yeah, I'm going to try that. And also studded, and studs are kind of still in. Yeah. So that's got a couple things that are going for it over the brand. So
Lori says that too busy to do anything special. Okay, that's really good to hear. I might have to give Etsy another shot and stop being lazy. I love it as a shopper. I mean, I browse.
Yeah. Well, you sell on so many platforms, so you're not lazy.
But it's always interesting to compare them.
Yeah.
Platforms. Okay. And coming back to what you are wearing today.
Yes, what I'm wearing today. And I have some examples too. So metallics and also sequins are in. So that kind of encompasses the metallics trend. So I have this. It's actually Neiman Marcus. Tracy Reese did a collaboration with Neiman Marcus. So this is actually Tracy Reese for Neiman Marcus. It's what it is. I'm sorry, Neiman Marcus did a collaboration. It's like a triple collaboration here. So
Oh,
Neiman Marcus did a collaboration with Target, and
then they use their brand.
and Tracy Reese does a collaboration with Neiman Marcus. So it's actually a Tracy Reese for Neiman Marcus for Target brand. So there's like that's a crazy one. So
I think I found the Layla Rose top ones
I'm
from
not sure if you can see the tag there in the small window.
too big.
Okay, so yeah, so see the tag. It's actually
So the collaboration was Neiman Marcus for Target, and then
Tracy Reese has a collaboration with Neiman Marcus. So yeah, so that's like a crazy triple collaboration. But this fits in the trend because it is crazy sequined and metallic. So this would, I think I'm going to give this one a whirl now too. It's been sitting in my unlisted inventory. So, and then the other thing I have here, these are actually mine. I wear these. These are these fabulous metallic sneakers.
oh, those are cute.
Yeah, so these are in right now too. So
Yeah,
I'm wearing them again. I took these are from my personal closet, but and they're just like Shoe Dazzle. I was a member of Shoe Dazzle for a while, where it's like, $39 a month. You get a pair of shoes every month. I stopped the subscription. I'm sorry. They do not do well for resale at all, that brand. But if I was going to sell these, I could probably sell these on the metallic angle right now. So
Lori says there are lots of animal prints in London that they would mix together different prints.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think what's overall a big trend right now is mixing patterns, but also different textures, different fabrics. So
you had an awesome one day when we went thrifting. You had this awesome, I think it was plaid and stripes outfit on. I can't, you don't remember. Yeah, you did though. Like you were mixing your prints. It was awesome.
But yeah, like I mean, plaid and lace or plaid and tweed, or sorry, like lace and tweed.
Yeah,
like,
this is a good example. My Free People shirt is plaid and lace. Like, that's a great combo.
And people will be looking to put these outfits together themselves, so they might buy like a super lacy top to go with like a plaid, wool skirt.
So definitely have that mix. You know what? Also on Poshmark, if you have the mix of those items in your closet in the same size, a Poshmark is big with the bundles. People will bundle. So, think about the trends that go together and have those items together. If you sell on Poshmark in your closet, you sell on eBay in your store, whatever platform you're selling on, but especially on Poshmark because of the shipping cost, with the anything 5 pounds, I think it's $6.97. So that's a big encouragement for people to buy multiple items. So if you have like, leopard print and checks and, they're the same size, that's a great thing because people look in your closet and bundle together.
And I definitely wouldn't do this on eBay, but on Poshmark, you can sort of style your items and show them with different pieces in your closet.
Yeah.
So you could like take a photo of them,
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good tip too.
Way to style it. You're not buying both with this listing.
Right. And
on Poshmark, people understand that. On eBay, you'd probably get someone assuming they're getting both. And
yeah, you can't do that on eBay. Yeah. Okay, so
the next one. You have an example.
Yes, I do have an example actually, and it also goes with this example. Also fits into the plaid and checks print, so that's why. So this is a lovely 80s blazer here. Yeah, here we go.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah, it's got shoulder pads. The brand is it's totally 80s. You can tell. The brand is Panther. Can you see it?
Wow, that's super. The tag, like the type, just looks super 80s.
Yeah. So and it's got shoulder pads. They're sewn into the lining, and it's like this great textured kind of tweed plaid. So this would sell on both of those trends, both checked and plaid. So
yeah, definitely.
It's a nice blazer. I need to get these things listed.
Yeah, I have a few blazers that I definitely need to get up. Okay, and another trend that is both like something coming in, something coming out. Skinny jeans are I mean, they're still,
Yeah, the people still buy it. Yeah.
but they're not trendy anymore. And wide leg jeans are in, and especially these sort of patchwork, multi like color. So going back to what Lori was saying about like the mixing prints, this is sort of similar on that kind of wavelength where you have like one leg that's light wash, one leg that's wash, and all these like kind of funky combinations.
So those jeans, I forget what brand they are, but they're inside out jeans. They are that's actually from the Neiman Marcus website. They are over $700.
Yeah. I mean, jeans are so expensive, and I really love reselling them because people are loyal to brands, they know their size, and so they're happy to just like,
It's also an item that it doesn't matter if it's pre-owned, because once it's actually kind of a bonus when you find like some washed kind of worn in jeans, because they're more comfortable, and it's like any distress or anything, any wash wear is kind of makes it more trendy. So
yeah. And this style, and if you wanted to like try and DIY something, you could totally find a pair of slightly broken in jeans, especially vintage Levi's or something, and some really cool vintage fabric, and add your own patches. And
yeah, definitely.
And that would do, I think, well on Depop. Seems to be, in my experience so far, the most open to like really funky DIY projects that are for sale.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good tip. Also, when I did some research, longer inseams are in now. Like like a lot of people are wearing like the ankle length jeans and the crop jeans, and that's still trending, but now coming back in is the long inseam on them. So
it makes sense for fall too, because now you're wearing boots and
exactly. Yeah, that's true. It's also seasonal.
Yeah. Okay, and we have one more, which I think is actually my favorite.
That's cool.
Elegant goth, which is sort of like all black, but again, like the really funky combinations of texture and
leather, lace, sequins, some sequins, not anything like overboard, but leather, like mixing leather and lace and all that. That's
really the Victorian style tops with like really fitted silhouettes and stuff like that. So this is again like another trend where you might, like, you're not going to go into a thrift store obviously and find a full outfit like this, but you might be able to like kind of tune your eye to see like, oh, this leather skirt would go really well with a lacy top, and someone's going to buy it because this is on trend right now. Tees, I like that. Like, yeah, if I had like the right lifestyle, I would just dress like this all the time.
Yeah. It's funny, when I was in high school, I went through that goth phase.
Oh, I was never.
Yeah, I went through a phase where I wore the all black, and I had like the flowy kind of. I was very artsy, and I thrifted back then, and I actually did go through that all black goth stage, which is funny. I actually dyed part of my hair black. It was yes.
I did dye my hair black once, and I spent like $5 on the box dye. And then my mom saw it and was like, absolutely not. And I think she paid like $2.50 for me to get my hair like ripped from the like all black dye. It was so bad.
That's funny.
I thought it looked good at the time. I'm sure it didn't.
Yeah. Mine had like a black streak. I don't think that looked good, but at the time I thought it was cool. So.
Yeah. So those are our 10 fashion trends. Does if anyone in the chat has any questions that or comments on what we've just talked about, we could chat about that before we move on.
Yeah, sure.
Or leave a comment afterwards if you think of something. Or
like our viewers, not everyone's watching live, so if you're watching this video on the replay, let us know like what you found, or if there's any other trends that that are on your radar that you're thrifting for. Let us know. Definitely. We love feedback and comments, and so
absolutely. That's so funny. I feel like the goth group in high school is such a like staple, but maybe it is a little more like 90s and after, like post-punk.
It was like was Lydia from Beetlejuice, Winona Ryder.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So when I went through my all black stage, I had people calling me Lydia because it was that movie was kind of just dates me my age, but
okay. So moving on, we have
yes,
more breaking thrift news. So this is actually not so much of a breaking news as like a trend that I noticed. And once again, we're talking about ThreadUp because so they just got a bunch of funding, so I think people are really paying attention. And I saw this interesting article, which I will caution. So Forbes, I mean, most people know the name Forbes as like a really good business resource, but on their website they have contributors which are not actually part of their like editorial content. So anyone can really write an article for Forbes like this. So it's not the like top journalistic source, but this article was really interesting. Basically is about how ThreadUp uses artificial intelligence when they are pricing the items on their website. So instead of like individual humans going through and being like, this, I'm checking comps like we do, and like this shirt sold for $20 last time, so now we're going to put it up. We'll try for 22. Like a computer knows how to do that.
I wonder how efficient that is, though. Really,
well, I think it must be more efficient in terms of ability to post items.
Yeah, but
the model is all about high volume. So Marina says ThreadUp is going to be selling at JCPenney's. Yes,
yeah,
and at Macy's. They're actually
there.
So maybe next week we can do that because they're actually piloting it at the Philly store downtown.
Yeah, we could go to Center City Macy's and do that. Yeah, that would be a kind of a cool thing. We could do a video maybe, and I think we should get some sound effects. I think we should work on that. Yeah, that's something we can do.
Get some music and sound effects.
Yeah, good. We will do that in the future. Work in progress.
So this made me really curious though, because I'm sure you guys have also noticed that eBay is pushing more and more like suggested prices that always seem a little bit low. Like when you're listing an item, it'll be like similar item sold for like 2 cents, and you're like, no, I'm listing it for $20. But I did find this.
Lola just dropped out. So, okay, so I'm here alone. So Lola will come right back in, and there she is. I was like, bye,
Lola. So there was another article on, again, it was a Forbes contributor, but it's about how eBay is also using artificial intelligence, and they're doing it in multiple ways. So part of it is like the search functionality, which is great. Like if someone types in Xmas, that eBay is smart enough to know that they mean Christmas, and so you don't have to put in both keywords anymore, like you did in the dark ages. But it does seem like they also use AI to suggest pricing and to
but that's what I'm saying. Like the eBay suggested pricing is so it's so off. Like it's some of the prices they suggest are just ridiculous, and I'm wondering how they how accurate that is if their prices are so.
Yeah, so I think it's an interesting thing to keep an eye on and to see in our experience, like if it's getting better over time, but also, if eBay's pricing gets smarter, it reflects our human experience a little bit better, but also just like how companies are investing money into platforms that are using AI because it's, the wave of the future. So Toronto Greenhouse, says sustainability is becoming a big issue in fashion. Yeah. I didn't know that the environmental accord at the
Well, that's a big thing. That's also why this is good for us, resellers who thrift, because people are looking for, the sustainability is a big thing, environmentally friendly, not so, buying pre-owned clothes and thrifting, it's becoming, like mainstream now. It's
right. There's not less stigma of like, oh, I got this used.
yeah,
and I think a great thing to remember, excuse me, great thing to remember, like, as it feels that there's more and more competition in reselling, there's also just bigger and bigger audiences and people who are shopping on these platforms. Right. So, you know, it kind of evens out, or even it still works in our favor.
Yeah, and people, like a lot of people that aren't like us, that, you know, that have that passion for thrifting and all, they can go in if they don't know what they're looking for. They get a, you know, so a lot of people love the you know, I don't want to say cherry picked, but like the, you know, the curated items from the thrift store that, you know, they can go onto, you know, Poshmark or whatever and pick out what they want. It's like virtual thrifting, but it's all curated. So that's a, you know, that's a big thing.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed some of my friends that I follow, like on Twitter and Facebook, who are really into fashion, will post about, oh, I just spent all night, you know, browsing eBay for these jackets.
Exactly.
And it's funny to me because for them, that's their thrifting experience, and it totally fills their need to like go, you know, treasure hunting. And I love knowing that like maybe they're finding my jacket and
exactly
profit. Suggested pricing will always probably be on the low side. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Obviously, eBay does better when there's more.
Yeah, absolutely. Like on those, a lot of those low suggested prices, your item probably would sell because the price is so low, and it does drive sales, and it, you know, so I can understand, but
yeah. And eBay only has part of the picture. They don't know your cost of goods. They don't know how much storage space you have and how long you're willing to wait for
your item, that kind of thing. Yeah,
totally. Okay, so we are gonna wrap it up because I know now you have to get.
I have to go get my son. He's at soccer camp right now, so I have to pick him up. Do you want to show everybody where we are?
Well, first we have a question for you.
Oh, that's right. We have our question. I'm sorry. Yes.
So we want to know what you are looking for every time you thrift. What is your thrifting holy grail? And maybe it's something that we should be on the lookout for. And maybe if someone else finds it, we can, you know, swap or sell to each other.
And it doesn't, that's a good tip too. Like, you know, somebody's holy grail might not be something super high end, or it might be like something personal or sentimental to them. So if someone else finds it, you know, by all means, you know, we're all in the reselling community. We sell to each other. So yeah, definitely put and it doesn't have to be a fashion item. It could be hard goods. Yes, so let us know. And
where can you find us? So
Jason just popped in now. Hi, Jason. Literally, yes. Thank you for tuning in. He's on his way to Hawaii right now, so I'm, you know, really impressed that he did pop in.
Like, comment, subscribe. Yes, I keep forgetting to say that. Please do. Thanks so much. For saying it's a great show. I think it's our best one so far.
Well, yeah, I think we're getting it together with the tech stuff now and all. It's a learning process. You know, StreamYard is, you know, but Lola is now, I'm the artist. She's the tech person now. We've
working great. Yeah.
Yes, we've designated our roles, and it's much better. So yeah, so this is where you can find us. We're both on Poshmark, Instagram. We are going to be giving tips on our Instagram accounts too. And you know, Depop, we sell it. And then Lola's store is what is your store? Your eBay store?
Found in Phila, Phila. I'm kind of like reorganizing my categories and my strategy for eBay right now. So you'll see there's not a lot of stuff on it, but yeah, I'll add my name to this once it's sort of up and running again.
Yeah, and I'm Thrifting on everything, on Instagram, on Poshmark, on Depop. So I would actually like to, my eBay account, I started it, you know, way back when I just had 2 kids, and I called it Colbrays because my 2 sons were Colin and Brendan at the time. Yeah, so it was so old. It predates my 3rd son. So I would love to actually rebrand and just be Thrifting on eBay too.
Yeah. Well, I was early enough on Poshmark and Depop to get my name Run Lola Run, which is usually taken. So
that's good.
I doubt I will ever get that on eBay, but
And also email us if you want, if you don't want to put it in the chat, if you just want to send us an email, let us know, ideas. What do you want us to show? What can we do better? What if you have an idea for an upcoming topic, or if you would like to be a guest, we will be having some guests. So
totally. Yeah. So thanks so much for tuning in, everyone. Like, comment, subscribe.
yes, please,
and we'll be continuing with our weekly schedule, I think. So probably next Thursday or Friday, we will be back with another episode, and I hope you'll tune in then.
Yeah, so stay tuned. Look for our topic, and our next we'll post it before we go live. So thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye.
How was that?